Oh no, you don't.
You must
Huh.
realize you are
Fucking right.
doomed.
Oh, look at that nipple. Oh yeah. OMG! The stormtroopers finally got a hit. Let's find out what I'm talking about in this Kenobi Episode 5 review. Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5 review. Here we go, Rich. Well, if you don't know by right now, it's going to be spoilers, so bang, bang. All right, thank you for that alert. Let's just get right into it, folks. It's a lot better episode. Trust me, a lot better episode if you've seen this. But I still got a little bit of things I gotta discuss that wasn't too happy about. But it's still a good episode overall. So let's get into it, Rich. Let's talk about that opening scene. Can you believe that opening scene? We finally see Hayden Christensen reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker. Tell me your thoughts when you first saw that opening scene.
I loved it, man. The way the last episode when we discussed it, it just left not such a great taste in our mouths. It just we even said in the episode we hope that they have a lot of ground to cover, and to open it like this, to finally show Hayden Christensen as Anakin. I mean, they started off great for me.
All right, you know what? It was so good to see Hayden reprise his role as Anakin, but man, he got old in his face. I'm like, why didn't they use the de-aging like they did? I mean, Ewan McGregor looks a lot younger.
Yeah,
he did opening scene than Hayden. Then I'm like, oh, yikes.
Yeah,
they should have did a little bit more de-aging on that young man. But you know, it's been a while because that's supposed to be from the Clone Wars, so it's a good 20 years from now. So you know, it's like, but it was good to see him back reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
So I want to get into a little bit of just in the beginning part of Reva's character. What did you think about Reva's character in this episode? Just in the beginning, I'm not talking about the finale. We'll talk about the finale later. What did you think about Reva with her backstory and becoming, you know, what she supposedly what people thought she wanted was to become Grand Inquisitor. Yeah. What is your thoughts about and your reaction about that? About her? I'm sorry.
Well, whenever that scene happened, whenever she did get Grand Inquisitor, it just looked on her look on her face like, you know, there was still something there in her mind where she was holding back a little bit, because we find out later what happens. We'll discuss that later. But I did like the way the opening scene started whenever Darth Vader made her Grand Inquisitor.
Right. You know, we got her little backstory. You know, Kenobi went up there to the door, to the gate, got her little backstory, realized that she was a youngling. She had to be there because she knows who Vader is.
Yeah.
You get the backstory. Oh, God, guys, I hate to be doing this.
Uh-oh.
Listen, nothing against Moses. No, seriously, it's nothing against Moses Ingram. I'm sure she's a fantastic actress. Seriously. But sometimes some actors aren't made for certain roles. And this is just, it just misses still for me. I just don't get that, you know, sincere, that, I don't know what it is. It's just the sincerity out of her, anything. Sometimes you're not made for a role. And I really don't believe she was made for this type of a role. She just was kind of cringy to me a little bit. You know, it just force fed a little bit for me. I just didn't like the little acting, the little one-liners did not hit with me. It's not her fault. She's a good actress. I'm just saying sometimes roles aren't meant for some individuals. And I believe this wasn't made for her. But anyways, let's go with Reva's backstory. It was pretty cool. Understand that she knew who Vader was, and he was Anakin Skywalker. So we're in Jabin. We're in planet Jabin there, Rich. Obi-Wan, Leia landed, and we see O'Shea Jackson back on Jabin. We also see Talia's back in the right. Am I saying her name right?
Yeah, Tala. Yeah.
Tala. Sorry. I keep calling her Talia. Tala's back in the scene as well. We get a little backstory with her, don't we?
Yeah.
She tells Obi-Wan, you know, hey, she didn't realize what she was signing up for. the Inquisitors were making her gather information about force sensitive beings around the universes, and some of them were children, and she said they were destroying them, and she didn't realize that's exactly what happened, and she feels, you know, so much regret, so
Yeah,
much
like
like
guilt.
that's why she's
Yeah.
helping the rebels right now. What did you think about her backstory?
I liked it. I'm glad that they gave you a little bit more in depth on her character because there wasn't much. Ever since she was introduced and everything, there wasn't too much backstory on her. So
Mhm.
I'm glad that they finally decided to do this and give her a backstory and let you know, give a little insight into her life.
Yeah, I'm glad they did give her a little backstory instead of just, oh, I just flipped. That's all.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm glad they did something with this because it made perfect sense. It made sense going forward and why her character chose to, be on the other side, even though she originally was for the Empire.
yeah.
All right. Also, we got. Let's talk about Leia's character. What do you think about Leia's character in this episode?
It was a little overshadowed by a lot of the other stuff that was presented to
Mhm.
us with Anakin, with Tala and Riva. So her performance, it just went to the wayside for me because I was just too focused and too amped to see what we were gonna get with Hayden Christensen and everything, and
Yeah.
and Vader.
Too amped, huh?
Yeah,
You know what? I loved it. I loved it. They basically said, you know what, kid, go upstairs and go play with some wires. What? And I think I could be wrong. Maybe it was was it the least we saw of Leia in any
it
episode we
was.
had,
Yeah,
and it worked. And it worked. I'm
yeah,
sorry, and that's why this was a better episode too. Maybe, who knows? Leia wasn't the factor. I'm not trying to diss the young lady. She's a great actress. She does fantastic. But like we said in earlier episodes, I didn't want to see that much Leia.
yeah,
But so, anyways, I thought that was great. I think it worked great. They just gave her a little side job to do by herself. We'll play some wires, and we call it a day for Princess Leia. So anyways, so we get. How about Kenobi? What did you think about Kenobi and his character? What did you think about his character in this episode?
I liked it. I mean, it was all about him and Anakin and the stuff that they went through before everything fell apart. So I like even the beginning scene. I'm just glad that they showed that, like that character, like the character build, it was like an addition to you know how Anakin would be too much in a rush and everything. That's what they got. That's like the point that they were trying to get across. Like you got to focus, and
Right.
you're too focused on victory that you don't pay attention to to other factors. So I like the his part in this.
Yeah, I like the. You know what? I felt like he was getting his mojo back in this episode.
Yeah,
He was getting off his, depression mode or sad mode, and he's getting up. He's being lifted. He's like, all right, we got to protect this little girl at all costs. He's starting to think a little bit with his mind, starting to see, how he gave up his weapon, and said he's going to go make a distraction with Vader, go face to face a little bit, and take it from there. I
yeah,
just think he's starting to get his mojo back. He's starting to get the vibes back, and he's getting to reprise to be Obi-Wan instead of Ben Kenobi. He's
yeah.
starting to be Obi-Wan. So there was, how do I say this? Oh, what I said earlier in the opening, the stormtroopers, right?
Yeah.
Oh my lord, they finally got one. Actually, I think they got three. So by
Yeah.
my count, it looked like it was every 27 there was 27 stormtroopers that got knocked out
Yeah.
to three. So it was one ever out of every 9 stormtroopers, they get one.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the stormtroopers. Finally, they got one. But sad part is Tala did get hit, and that was it for her. What did you
That
think
was
about that?
it.
Did that surprise you?
No, I felt like her character, they gave us as much as they could with her. And in that scene right there, you just had a feeling someone had to be left behind. And
Mhm.
it had to be one of those moments where it's like, go on without me, I'll hold them off. They already had that feel. So it wasn't going to
Right.
be Kenobi. So I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen.
Mhm.
So, but I thought her character, you know, I thought they did a good job with it.
Right. Yeah, you know, that was all that was the purpose of her character, I believe,
Yeah.
and that was it. And it was good. It was in and out, the end of Tala. But you know, like I said, the stormtroopers finally got one, and they got a good one. And they
Yeah.
got like a droid and somebody else, I think. But anyways, they finally got a hit. So
I did
now
love
we're
the robot. I did love the robot covering her though. Whenever it would
oh
just
yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Almost kind of reminisce
I like
of
that.
it would almost reminisce of what's that android's name from Rogue One?
Oh, I know who you're talking
Oh,
about. I forgot his name though.
oh, KRS. I don't know. That's an album. That's a
Yeah.
KRS one. No, it's not him.
Yeah, I know who you're
But
talking
you
about.
know, from Rogue One with Cassian and everything, he just reminded me like that type of a droid.
Yeah.
Saving, trying to protect her a little bit. So let's go into the finale, man. So
That's
Vader
where
finally
that's
lands.
where it's all
Yeah,
at, man.
Vader finally lands. We also find I don't know if I glossed over this, but real quick, we also find out Reva's true
Yeah.
intentions.
Which
So,
that was a
mhm,
big part of the episode.
yeah, so we know it as the audience, but we're
Yeah.
not sure if Vader knows it just yet. So, anyways, we're going in. No, he goes in, and man, what did you think about that force that Vader used on that ship?
Man, I never seen that much strength for like force wise. I've seen, you know, his
Mhm.
fighting skills and everything,
Right.
and you know, force choking and people and everything. But I was like, wow, to stop that big ship
Mhm.
midair as it was trying to take off, and to just bring it down. Like I actually got chills watching that episode because I had my surround sound blasting,
Yeah.
just the music playing while he drug that thing down and it collapsed. It was amazing.
Yeah. It was great to see that, to show him his power and everything. I really did. I loved it. It was cool. It's like, oh, finally, they're showing this guy's strength, you know? They always
Yeah.
say he's a chosen one. He's so powerful. I'm glad they started showing almost reminiscent of Star Killer, the video game.
Yeah, I heard
The
about
Force is
that.
Unleashed kind of type
Yeah.
deal. So it was so good to see that. I am okay. I know it's big and negative. Listen, I'm still enjoying this. I'm still enjoying this, but
Uh-huh.
it would have been way better if they didn't show that shit in the Rise of Skywalker with Kylo Ren and Ray.
Ray, yeah.
Yeah, because they both did it in the Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, man, if they didn't show that in that damn movie, this would have been epic for me. I
Yeah.
mean, I know it's still pretty epic for others, but that thing was just in the back of my head. I know, folks. Why do I keep
But
looking for the negatives? It just sticks out a little for me. It's in the
yeah,
back of my head.
I guess it would be a negative for some, but those movies are so forgettable for me. I didn't even think about that. Like that.
Those
I'm
movies so
sorry.
forgettable.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
you pinpointed it.
They are so forgettable that I didn't
Um,
even think about that. But
yeah.
so that was like fresh for me. Because I mean, I
Okay.
did watch all the new trilogies, but I just nothing
Yeah.
stuck. So
But anyways, let's go to that main fight with Vader and Reva. So Obi-Wan escapes because he's in a different ship. I don't know how he didn't see it.
yeah,
Yeah, but anyways,
that part was a little weird. Yeah, that
yeah,
part
that
was
was
a
a
little.
little
It's like
sketchy
okay,
there. But
you show this
anyways,
badass scene, him dragging down a ship, and then pew, pew, just takes off.
right,
It's like, oh,
exactly.
okay.
So let's talk about that main final battle between Reva and Vader. What was your thoughts and reaction on that part?
Oh, that I love that fight. Like
Hmm.
whenever he took her lightsaber, and, like I didn't he like break it in half or something like that.
Yeah, he
I know he
grabbed it
did
from
something. Yeah,
her with the Force and broke it in half
yeah, that
and
part
dropped
was
one.
and dropped one. That part was like the whole fight was awesome,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was I was you know Reva wasn't gonna win like
Mhm.
obviously, so it was like a means to an end, and but the fight that she gave I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was a good fight because it was seeing how Vader knew the whole time. He
Yeah,
was powerful where he didn't even use his lightsaber, you know?
yeah,
So he used his force to stop her every move and everything. I didn't think that was a great opportunity for her to attack, but I guess she thought it was. But
Yeah.
anyways, and he was just toying with the girl. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
I
he
mean,
really
he just
was.
overpowered her.
Mhm.
But you kind of did feel for Riva because whenever she did open up in the beginning of the episode or during the
Yeah.
episode about her being a youngling and just being
Hmm.
kidnapped and taken and put into this situation, so you did kind of feel for her, but you, as the viewer, you knew she wasn't going to win.
Right.
So yeah,
Exactly.
I did feel bad for her. But
Yeah. So we had that good fight, but I still got a little negative. Oh my God. I'm
uh,
sorry, but it's like, they need George Lucas to show these people how to battle with lightsabers. Because Disney don't know what the hell they're doing with it.
mhm.
I get it, they're doing the force thing, but it still reminisces with the sequels because Kylo did it, Rey did it. It's like, oh boy, in the back of my head. Not discrediting this fight whatsoever, folks. I'm really not, but I still get it's what's in the back of my head. I'm like, oh my God, they need whoever George Lucas's choreographer was for the prequels, even for the damn original trilogy.
Yeah.
Disney does not know how to do a lightsaber duel. They don't. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, that's the only negative. That's the negative comment on me on that part as far. So we get a grand reveal at the very end. So Vader stabs, Reva, and then guess who comes in? Who walks in there, Rich?
No one's ever really dead, right?
I guess not.
That's the story of Star Wars.
So who came
The
in?
Grand Inquisitor.
The Grand Inquisitor shows up. Not a damn scratch on that son of a bee.
Nothing.
Nothing. Shows up, does a little smirk, grabs her little whatever the hand to pin
Oh yeah, it just
for
takes that.
Grand Inquisitor, It's like, oh no. and talks about revenge and everything, and Vader sings, calls her a youngling.
Yeah.
What did you think about that grand reveal for you? Did it work for you? Did it not work for you?
I mean, during our other reviews, stuff was being let out like Instagram and IGN and all that stuff where they were
Hmm.
talking about like, he's not really gonna be gone because
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. You even brought it up. You're
in
like,
the
it just
Rebels.
doesn't,
Hmm.
yeah, it doesn't make sense because he's in Rebels. So you always had a feeling, he wasn't gonna actually be dead again. No one's actually ever really dead. So to
Hmm.
bring him in, it was kind of expected. For me, it was.
Yeah.
Um, I had a feeling he was going to come back, whether it was going to be this episode or next. But I mean, it was just like a kick in the gut because he did tell her in earlier in the season how
Right.
she was the least of them, like she was the lower part of them, like
Hmm.
she they just found her in a gutter and everything, and it kind
Yeah.
of stings for him to get that kind of that little moral victory over her. So
Yeah.
you got a
Um.
negative? Do you got a negative?
Well, of course, but I'll get back to it in a little bit. So then at the end, we see Reva scooching out because there's a little decade hologram type deal. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but it's a hologram thing. It's Bail
Yeah.
Organa saying, he's gonna go to Tatooine because he fears the worst about Leia. So then we see Obi-Wan, and I guess that's where we're assuming that's where it's gonna take place. She knows that something's going on in Tatooine, and it's and Obi-Wan feels something bad in the Force.
Yeah.
So
He
that's where
even
they
says
left you.
it. Yeah. He
Hmm.
even says like, I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I just sent something.
Now that's about it for the review, but I do have a negative thing I forgot to tell you guys. The last part is okay. So people getting stabbed with lightsabers, this is getting ridiculous. I mean, seriously. So the Grand Inquisitor is fine. Reva is getting stabbed and she's crawling her way over there. She's not dead immediately. She's fine. She looks fine. And
Yeah.
I think I think her backstory, she got stabbed too or swiped with a lightsaber, right? And
Yeah.
pretending like she was dead.
Yeah. I don't think she's gonna be gone.
No, oh my God. And then you're talking about Okay, you're talking about, and even Maul, and I love Maul. He's my favorite character. Even he got sliced up, but they brought him back.
Yeah, he
Man,
got
what
it back
about
too.
justice for my poor Qui-Gon?
Yeah.
Come on, he got stabbed, and that was it. Lights out for that
Lights
man.
out.
Come on, man. This is just getting a little too ridiculous. Like you said earlier, everyone's not really dead.
That's like
Oh,
the motto that they're creating with Star Wars now.
man.
So
But I'm not, even though I'm negative on some certain things, I enjoyed this episode. I really did. I
it
definitely think this is a
was
better episode.
the
Definitely
best.
better than the last one.
Yes.
Might have been, is it the best episode
It's the
so
best
far for
episode
you?
so far. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I would kind of lean towards that way as well. It is the best episode so far, even though
Yeah.
I did like the first one, because the first one, I think we are just so hyped about it, maybe,
Yeah.
and we finally got to see Obi-Wan for the first time. But I really like this episode, even though I had some negative comments. But what about you out there? What did you like about this episode? Did you like it? Did you not? Was it still? I'm pretty sure you had to like it. It was definitely better.
Yeah.
But leave your comments down below and let us know what you think about this episode, Kenobi episode 5.
And
And
also let us know what you expect out of the final episode that's coming
yeah,
up. Let us know what you think, how it's gonna end, because this is it, right? This is a
this is it.
one
This is the
series,
last one
like this
so
is it.
far, but the way it's
They're-
looking, I don't know. They got a lot. They still got a lot of
They still
little.
got a lot. They still got a lot to cover to fit into one episode. And
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna stick with this being just a one season thing.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna take into account of how much the fans have enjoyed it so far, especially this
Yeah,
last episode. So
yeah.
we'll see.
We'll
And
see.
let
We'll
us
see if
know.
they have a little surprise for us at the end.
Yeah.
We'll see how good that last episode is. Well, for me and Rich, remember, if it's always offered, take a breath, Mint.